I'm Joe Morgenstern. I'm the film critic of the Wall Street Journal, but I'm here today to talk about Roger Corman, who occupies a very special place in the film business, and as you'll see, is a very special kind of guy. He's a gentleman of the old school. Roger has given opportunities to young directors from Francis Coppola to Scorsese to James Cameron. The Internet Movie Database says that he has produced and or directed 413 films over the years. It's a school that began in the 1950s, and it's still running strong. Roger has famously said that all of my movies are simply concerned with man as a social animal. Making entertainment on a remarkably low budget, it's really been the key to Roger's filmmaking. I've been a critic for a long time, but I've really tried not to be an elitist, and that fits in perfectly with Roger's stuff. To give you an idea of what delights me, I'll just take pleasure in reading some of the titles of what he's done. The Brain Eaters, Boxcar Bertha, Dementia 13, Francis Coppola's first film, Carnosaur 1, 2, and 3, The Swamp Women, which was his first film, The Trip with Peter Fonda, The Beginnings of Psychedelia. When I sat down to talk with Roger, we discussed 4 of the films that are going to be presented in this series: Mask of the Red Death, Rock and Roll High School, Death Race 2000, and The Intruder. The Intruder has a special place in my life because it's the first time I interviewed an actor named William Shatner, young guy from Canada no one had heard of. Shatner played a racist bigot who incites a lynch mob, comes to an American town that's in the process of integrating.
Your mayor and the governor could have stopped it, but they didn't have the guts.
Shatner talked in glowing terms about Roger Corman, who was making this film up as he went along. It was so brilliant. Shatner had never worked with anyone like him before. The film turned out to be an enormous critical success and also the first commercial flop in Roger's career. It was subsequently and unavailingly re-released under a new title, a more forthright title, I Hate Your Guts. The Mask of the Red Death was one of the Edgar Allan Poe films that Roger did, and he must have loved Poe as a dramatic source because he did 7 Poe films. Made in 1964, starring Vincent Price. It was one of Roger's stylish horror films that was really distinguished visually and dramatically, again, shot economically, but you'd never know it. Roger produced Death Race 2000 in 1975. It was directed by Paul Bartel, who has become a fascinating figure in his own right in independent film. And it was shot by Tak Fujimoto. He was one of the cinematographers on Tokyo Olympiad in 1964. And in 1974, shot Caged Heat, which was Jonathan Demme's first film as a director.
The Transcontinental Road Race, which upholds the American tradition of no holds barred.
Death Race 2000 was prescient in so many ways. It pioneered dystopian road trips.
All right, and yes, sirree, a clean hit, a perfect hit.
It had a wonderful cast. David Carradine, Fred Grandy, ultimately of Love Boat fame. Sylvester Stallone had a small part.
Lousy stinking dirtball. You got 2 seconds to live.
Pretty good stuff for a small film. Rock and Roll High School was produced in 1979, and it was one of those films that became a playground or a gymnasium for directors who went on to bigger things in their career. In this case, Joe Dante and Alan Arkush, who had a long career in television directing. The film features the Ramones, but it also features some rather crisp and elegant economical cinematography by Dean Cundy. Roger Corman films have given their start to directors, to crew members, but most notably, they've given their start to now celebrated actors that include Peter Fonda, Jack Nicholson, and William Shatner. Today, the curse of the movie business is budgets. Every production becomes an enormous event. And Roger was able to demystify all that by reducing the making of a feature film to just going out and getting the basic elements and doing well with them and doing well on the cheap and then marketing the hell out of them when it came out.
Rock, 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 rock.
So at this point, all I can tell you is sit back and enjoy. And if you've never seen a Corman film, there are many to be seen, hundreds to choose from. You'll be astonished at how much fun they are.
Those Ramones are peculiar. They're ugly.